Hello everyone, thanks for being here. I think getting towards the end of the day. Uh, I think she gave a great introduction. I will directly head into, I currently work for KnowBe4. I have been all along working for cybersecurity. Cybersecurity currently is at a very critical junction, I would say. With generative AI solving a lot of productivity problem for a lot of you, and it has created a new attack surface for the people working in the cybersecurity space. So, typical traditional practices that we were using in cybersecurity, which were reactive in nature, are not helping us these days. And that's where we need to come with the proactive practices which have agentic workflows. And that's what we were trying to do at KnowBe4 around 2023 beginning, right? So in this session, what you are going to hear is our journey, how we enabled AI to help us build agentic workflows, and what was the data engineering that went behind it. A little bit about KnowBe4. KnowBe4 is the world's largest cybersecurity awareness company and now an HRM Plus company. We cater to around 70,000 plus B2B businesses across the globe, and we cater to around 100 million end users. So that's a little bit about KnowBe4. In terms of our product suite, we from security awareness to cloud security, and most recently AI defense agents. That's what we built over the last 2 years and shipped 4 agents last year. And I'm going to talk about the journey. So this talk is going to be mostly useful for people who are going through a transformation, how your company from a traditional typical data engineering practices used to empower your workloads, but now have to empower AI-based workloads and agentic workloads. So just to give a quick glimpse, right, 2022, where we were, at the bottom of this deck, you can see the purple bar here. It tells, we used to sell products. There were multiple products: phishing product, training product, real-time coaching, anti-phishing, right? Our customers used to take all the decisions and configure our products. That's where we were in 2022, and that's when the agentic AI boom happened, and we wanted to get there. So 2023 and 2024, around this is the middle layer this is where we are currently, and by end of this year we will be on the top layer. So what we did is we built a lot of agentic features, agents, basically 4 agents: risk score agent, generate phishing agent, training agent, and quiz agent. These agents helped us reduce a lot of effort on the admin side by taking automated workflows, putting them in the hand of AI, while admin is only responsible for taking core decisions, right? But this is not enough, right? We want to get to a situation where admin's workload are reduced significantly, and the decisions as well are moved to AI. So this is where we are heading towards, and this will be launched in 3 months from now. It's in beta testing phase for now. So for this, we have to move all the decision making as well as to AI. To achieve this goal, we need a huge amount of data, as you all know, right? Like, we are all data engineers in the room. We need to connect everything and build data. So where we were in 2022, we had KnowBe4 did not got built in a day. We are a 15-year-old company. We have built organic products. We have acquired companies. We have acquired products, and we have a huge catalog of product that came from different corners of the world, I would say. And what does that lead to, right? When you buy a product or acquire a company or you build something new organically, it's not always thought through from the eyes of connected data platform, right? And that's where we were. We had a huge data silos in 2022. But to achieve our vision, which I talked about, and where we are getting in next 3 months, we needed everything connected. If AI has to take responsible decisions, AI needs to know a lot about a user to make those decisions. So that's what we wanted to do, and that's where a little bit about data silos, I want to talk about that. So we had huge amount of training data. We have the biggest catalog in the world for the training videos and texts and images. We have millions of daily threat events that we ingest from around 30 cybersecurity vendors for all our customers. And we have millions of phishing emails that are sent every month to phishing simulation events, to correct here, not the real phishing emails, to all our customers. And then finally, we send millions of monthly training assignments to our customers. So this is what we do, and these all systems were disconnected to each other. So this is where the data silos lived in. So the charter that the data engineering team was assigned, right? There was a single charter, very simple charter to enable that vision, and it was eliminating the data silos and enabling all our AI with the connected data. So these are the few things. So this talk, I'm not going to go in depth of how we actually tweak those levers and build it out, but this is going to give you a workbook of how the transformation happens in a $5 billion company where you are handling data for 100 million users, right? So we got together, the data engineering team had to fix the problem which I talked about in the previous slide. And these are the 4 big layers, 4 important vectors that the team has to focus on just to enable the functionality. And in this session, I'm just going to go over those things which are enabling the functionality and not over the other aspects of data engineering, which are equally important, like observability and making sure your troubleshooting things are right and all of that, right? Which I think a lot of other speakers previously covered. So we basically decided to build few of the things here, right? We built a data mesh. This mesh is currently in our first version. In fact, I have my data architect here who is working on the second version of the mesh. We built it, and I will talk about what technology we have used here. So this why we chose mesh. In fact, surprisingly, there were 3 years back, I heard about mesh here. I mean, I joined a session in this particular room, in this summit, and someone was talking about mesh. And that's what I recalled when we were doing all this brainstorming, and then we decided to, when we were comparing different architecture patterns, comparing lake houses to mesh, we decided to go with mesh. The reason being, we are a big company. We have offices, engineering offices across 5+ countries, different continents, teams working in silos. We cannot build a lake house that brings in data from everywhere across 5 regions that we operate in, right? So what we wanted to do is, we wanted to solve bureaucracy as well as technology problem, right? And that's where mesh helped us be the best solution out there, where data does not move, right? So with the core principle of mesh is, data is connected, but data is not moving. Data is still at rest. So the owners of the data still own the data. Data becomes a product for rest of the company. So that's what's a big transition we made after a lot of research, that we are going to go with the mesh architecture. And I'm going to share a little more details about what technology we used here. But the second most, not every use case that we were trying to solve will just get solved by a batch processing or a big data operation. We also provide those features that are very transactional in nature, and to power such features, we need data in motion. And that's where we build our own data pipeline. There were various teams using different services systems like SQS and RabbitMQs and various other stuff, but we built our own system called as DFS, and this enabled us timely delivery and also centralize the cataloging of all the data flowing across the company. So now we know what data is flowing from where. It solves a lineage problem to a certain extent, but that was not our goal. Our goal was to bring a centralized platform that helps enable billions of events to go through this stream. Then the third, I think the most important, while we are doing this, we are overhauling the whole company, right? It is very important to make sure that the quality is maintained. For that, we build our in-house SDKs for data validation for both mesh and pipeline. So before the data hits the catalog for mesh and it hits the DFS, there is a deep layer of validation that is mandated by the process as well as technology before it hits these. And the last one is data governance. So we, as a cybersecurity company, we have a huge responsibility towards our customer, because first of all, we are trying to safeguard them. We have to make sure that we also safeguard the data we own for them, right? And we have a very strong InfoSec team that does not allow any of my engineers to do anything, probably. Not a great thing, but yeah. So we build a huge amount of capabilities that enable InfoSec keep a watch on what is where. and also allow us quick decision making on building capabilities. Every feature that know before rolls out has to be vetted by InfoSec, pen tested, and then we roll it out to our customers. Governance is a core part of anything that we roll out. Now, yeah, this is at a high level one of the workflows. I just wanted to give a glimpse of it, and which also gives you a glimpse of what technologies we are using. One very important thing, know before is a AWS shop. We try to restrict to AWS as much as possible. We don't go outside AWS. We run probably a two-digit $1 million operation at AWS. So you can see the first leftmost section there talks about microservices. There are multiple, so we run in production more than 2,500 microservices. I mean, multiple replicas of same in multiple regions. But these 2,500 microservices producing data and then have to churn out those AI features, right? So we build, you can see the second box there. I don't know how visible it is for all of you, but the second box, the pink box there, that's the DFS layer that we built. So the idea here is that each of these microservices are connected to DFS for all the transactional data. This particular use case is solving for a feature that is called as orchestrator and agents that we have released last year. You can see the three green boxes on the top. So what Mesh solves for them is these are all batch processing capabilities that we have built to power our agents and reporting capabilities. The data from each of these green boxes is available on Mesh. When I say data is available, data is not moved. That's the important thing here to understand. The data is cataloged, and you can see those blue boxes at the bottom. We are currently using Glue Catalog. We are transitioning to start using Unified Studio in AWS, which is their latest services rollout, and they are trying to bring everything together in the space of data and AI. So we are as a company are also transitioning to that. But currently in production, we use Glue Catalog, and then we use S3 to store our data in Delta formats. I think Sarita talked a lot about Iceberg. We evaluated Iceberg as well and various other components with other tools and technologies, and decided to go with Delta tables. We'll not go into details of why we did in this session, but this is the journey, right? These all green boxes, these are the three new green boxes, but all that leftmost corner that you see here shows all the microservices that exist, 2,500 plus services running in production, churning out data. So bringing all that data, cataloging it, making available on the mesh. Each of the services, you can see there is a bidirectional arrow here. The service can get access to the data through a proper governance, do whatever processing they need, dump it back and make it available on mesh. So it is again available across the company. So to build this, we have to build, as I talked about in the previous slide, there were two, the mesh and the DFS enabled this, while we had validation in place and governance in place. So this is at a high level what we did in terms of technologies. At the last, you can see to enable a lot of our AI workloads, we're using AWS Bedrock most of the part, and to make the data available that is sent as a part of prompts, again it comes through the mesh. So you can see the last box here, it's a data insight engine that fetches all the data from the mesh and that sends it out to the Bedrock. So that's about the production workload. So this previous slide, this slide talks about a workload that an application tackles. But to build any agentic workflow, there is a journey that the team goes through, and that the first phase of that journey, which is the most important phase, is the research phase, where our data scientists and analytics have to come together and work on identifying what is the best algorithms, figuring out what configuration they can make, and various other things. So to enable those analysts to get access to the data so that they can build the right algorithms, derive right insights, and prove the point that we can build those capabilities. This is the second journey that we went through. And you can see at the bottom, again, the microservice layer that existed initially. Then the data storage layer where we use RDS, DynamoDB, S3, Delta Lakes, all of that. So this was again consolidated with the mesh layer. There was a metadata layer creation on top of it through Lambda functions and also glue there. Then the data was supposed to be catalog layer. So again, as I talked about in the mesh, we use the data glue catalog there currently, and lake formation for governance. Then comes where the analyst have access to the second last layer. So this is our query processing layer, where we are currently using SageMaker and bunch of other AWS capabilities. And lastly, for visualization, we started using QuickSight and bunch of other tools, but QuickSight majorly because it was easily available. We have grown from here significantly, but this was our initial draft of the architecture that we enabled our analyst and data scientist with to make those key decisions. So that's at a very high level how we enabled our application teams and our analyst and science teams to help us build those agentic workflows. I think with that, I want to show some stats and in my conversation. So these are few stats about KnowBe4 is a HRM Plus platform where we have processed 500 plus million events in this platform that I showed earlier. We have delivered 500 plus real-time remediation events. So what is a remediation event? Whenever there is a threat that is identified by any of our system for any of our end users, 100 million end users, we deliver them a remediation event that helps them educate and mitigate the risk. We have delivered around 500K of those in last 6 months or so when we launched these agents. We have created 30K AI simulated phishing templates. So I think many of you would have received one point of time in your career phishing simulator by your organizations. We are in the business of doing that. Till now, what we were doing is our customers had to go to a portal, craft their own phishing simulation using our system templates, and then send it to their users. The level of personalization they could go with this was maximum to like 50 or 100 templates a year, because it takes a lot of time to get the template right and have all those red flags. Usage of AI, which was enabled through all this data engineering, we were able to, in the last 6 months itself, we have enabled 30,000 plus automated simulated phishing templates for our customers, where the admin has to do nothing instead of tweaking some levers to provide us the input for this. Lastly, I want to talk about a little bit on the success that we achieved through this is the risk score of our customers before we rolled out these features through agentic features was average risk score 41.5, while now you can see all the customers that are using these have already got down by 4 points, which is a huge success for a big organization, to 37.3, which tells the story of how agentic workflows are capable of addressing the risk posture of organizations better than manual human products, right? And lastly, 75% of the user do not repeat a failure. This is a big one. We realized that when we were sending these manual admin crafted phishing templates, there was a lot of talking between the employees and then getting to know what is it. And next time, the learning was not uptick, right? Next time there was again a phishing simulation sent over a month, and they would basically end up clicking it again. In fact, at KnowBe4 we have a policy: if someone clicks it 8 times, we just let them go. So these personalized agentic templates helped us achieve the goal of reducing the risk for our customers to a level where 75% of their users are now more clicking once they receive these personalized template, because there is no sharing of knowledge here. It's a personalized knowledge that they get. So with that, I would end my session here. Thank you everyone for being a sport. I can take a few questions.